I would say we're quite lucky with the mainstream YouTube wrestling channels that exist, in that they aren't too, maliciously, clickbaity, e-newsy, showbiz news. They, for the most part, just wish people the best and don't shit on people, which is, ideal. And I'm here to change that.
Garrod's the bad boy of wrestling.
Bad boy of the pod, I wear a black shirt, which makes me the evil guy. Well, no, every generic wrestling fan.
I think we're all wearing black shirts today as well.
I'm wearing a Shingo Takagi shirt after Wrestle Kingdom that just happened earlier today and yesterday. 2 days.
All right, well, give us a rundown on what happened at Wrestle Kingdom then, Garrod.
Well, there were 2 days, and I haven't really enjoyed that much, to be honest with you. It's been a pretty rough year for New Japan, for any New Japan fan. I'm sure they'd agree. What is interesting is, and I think I've spoken about this a long time ago, last year, but during the pandemic, the reason that that Western wrestling hasn't had any crowds is because you can't really control a Western crowd because we're all assholes. Whereas a Japanese crowd, even to this day, do not make a sound. They will not speak a word because they are asked not to speak anything. They are asked not to cheer. They simply clap, which is it's very strange hearing like okay, that clap is definitely that clap is a heel clap. You can tell. And that clap is for the face. You can tell that's a face clap. Like they'll do a specific clap to like mirror them going like Naito. So they'll be like or they'll do like an Okada, and it's great. But as for the actual show, not great. I will say Tomohiro Ishii ended up having a match with Evil. Evil is not in the good books with many IWC Internet Wrestling Culture fans. And it wasn't great. What else happened? I don't know. The standouts really were that they are featuring Noah, and Noah are going to have like more of a thing, I believe, with them going forward. Like pretty much the entire locker room stood in the ring. And I just want to see Marufuji face everyone because he's my favorite wrestler. He's my favorite wrestler that isn't Miro. And they also had a Stardom match. They're featuring the women. And honestly, that was the best match on the card, was the women's match. I would recommend watching them. Yeah, I would recommend watching them over any other match on the card.
How was Shibata's return? Because I was very excited to hear this. And then obviously, when they first announced it was like... what was the name of the rules where no strikes?
Yeah, no strikes. They're basically
like on the day, pretty much, right?
So he came out against Ren Narita, who he trained, and basically took the mic and then said, "I'm changing the rules. It's a proper wrestling match." And then like the commentators, the English commentary, because I don't speak Japanese, were basically saying, has he gone into business for himself? And that was the thing they were running with. I have no idea if that's legit, if he went into business for himself. The match itself was still relatively light. Like they went to the mat, they did a lot of mat work and a lot of graps here and there. But to see Shibata do a running corner drop kick and to see him do, all these strikes and get him in a headlock, do a PK, all this kind of thing is exactly what I've missed. If you haven't watched any Shibata stuff, just go and watch it. It doesn't feel like he's missed a step, but it does feel like they're just taking their time, making sure, because for the same reason that Daniel Bryan didn't come back for a while, it was a bad injury. It was a bad time for the old noggin. If you want to depress yourself, please go and look at Shibata Headbutt on YouTube.
Yeah,
that one where like I think it's against Okada and that like single drop of blood comes down like this. While it looks cool as shit, it's also like, oh my guy, please stop. No.
Yeah. Well, like one of my all-time favorite matches is him and Tomohiro at the G1 Climax back in 2014.
Sure.
And it's just 10 minutes of them basically levering the fuck out of each other. And then there is a point where they're just straight headbutting each other. And it's just not pretty. Especially when you look back on what happened. Yeah.
Matt Riddle put it best. Shibata is a stallion. Because when you are a wrestler whose nickname given to you is the wrestler, you're doing something right. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So I think fingers crossed we see more of that. What else? Okada is back on top. They had him teasing the old belt to come back, and then he just kind of got rid of it and is now ushering in the new belt era, which is the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental fused. So he is now the fourth champion of that.
Did he beat Ospreay then? I'm guessing
he did beat Ospreay. He beat Shingo in the first night, and then went on to beat Ospreay in the second night. The matches were fine. I think I preferred the Shingo match.
This is the thing I think, which is why they've had a bit of a bland year as well. It feels like they're at the point where they should be trying to like push newer names, newer talent. I feel like they just keep playing it safe. I mean, you look at the G1 when we said that was a pretty lackluster one because it's kind of like the same names we've seen. Predictable winner, and it's kind of been the same with Wrestle Kingdom now. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of people feel that way. There are a few up and coming talents here and there. I think they just need the borders to open up, to be honest. They need just a lot of talent to come over and see him. Hopefully we'll get a lot of AEW crossover. I don't know. It's the thing is with Okada is like when we talk about aged wrestlers in WWE, Okada has just hit the point where wrestlers get into their prime, and he's been the best in the world for like 5, 6, 7 years, and he's just hit the point where most wrestlers get into their prime. He is the best wrestler of all time, and he also has said and expressed that he wants to face Daniel Bryan, he wants to face CM Punk. So if he wants to be the flagship of New Japan, but it means that he's gonna open it up and be a world champion this year, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Yeah. Oh well, I guess we'll see what happens.